right, good morning. Here we are again. I have once again used my wireless mic for something and forgotten to, sorry, I had to close my door because it said it was open. I have used my wireless mic for something and forgotten to charge it. So we're using the camera mic today. Today is also going to be my first video with my new wave of glasses. Hopefully I look snazzy. It's kind of drizzling. It looked dreary outside, and I honestly probably don't even need my sunglasses, but it's become a staple of this channel, so I kind of have to wear some sort of sunglasses. Anyway, talking about just the general idea of things and how things pile up and continue to pile up. It's interesting the pattern that I keep with these videos, and I'm not sure that without several days off I would have ever caught up with myself. So I allowed myself to get pretty far behind on uploads, and when I have a daily release schedule like this, it is very easy to lose track of things. Every day you don't upload something is a day that you fall behind. And so yesterday marked the day that I finally caught up from my 20-day deficit. There was probably a good solid 20 days between my upload and catching up to myself in the future. And I try to stay about a month ahead of myself. And so to be 20 days behind means I basically was like a week ahead of myself at that point. And so I really crammed out the videos and just smashed videos pretty much every morning while I was off. And I caught up to where I was on Sunday. But the problem is I didn't push forward, and I kind of knew that I was going to run into this problem because by the time I caught up to myself, it was like 11 o'clock on Sunday. I'd been up since 5. I'd been working at it since 5, and I was over it. And so I was like, well, I've caught up with myself. That's going to have to be good enough. So the pressure's on today to hopefully release at least 2 more videos. 1 to catch up and then 1 to get ahead. And then if I can maintain 2 more videos sporadically throughout this week, then I should be fine going into the weekend. I once again have Friday off. I've got the entire following week off. And so going into the weekend, I should be able to catch up and then put myself ahead of schedule. Now, the issue that I am running into, and it's the opposite issue of what I had intended to have happen, is that I am catching up to myself in May, and I now will be fully aware of where I am behind and what I need to be doing. I feel like this camera is hard to see. Is it shaking or something? It's weird. Sometimes I make these videos and there's a lot of background noise. It sounds like I have all the windows in my car rolled down or something. And so I'm trying to figure out why. Sometimes I have a ton of background noise and sometimes I don't have any at all. I feel like most of the time I don't have any at all, but at any rate. But yeah, so I feel like what's going to happen is over the course of Memorial Day weekend, I will effectively catch up with my uploads. I'm about there already. Now, granted, anything I made last week is not on my computer yet because it's still on the SD card, but that could at the very least, or at the very most, be 7 videos. And so if I manage to catch up and put myself on track, and then I've got another 7 videos to do, that could very easily catch me up. So we'll see what happens. My goal was to be done with this project by May. I was I was crazy to think that was going to happen. I was thinking that I would be well through like September at the very least by the end of this month. But like by my math, I'd be just at the beginning of July by the end of this month. So, and that's provided that I don't record anything over this last vacation. I'm really gonna hold myself to it and try and get a pretty healthy recording schedule down over the course of this last vacation, because I kind of need it. I've squandered however ahead I was. I was months ahead of schedule walking into this, and I have effectively squandered that. And it's interesting to like look back at it and like to try and figure out where that time went exactly. So, like, I'm trying to think here. I took the week, was it a week or a week and a half off for Christmas? And I think that was the first time loss that I experienced, was that week in December when I was off for Christmas. And then, let's see here. I feel like there was just general days missed, days where my camera was not charged or what have you, that were missed. And then there was the vacation in May that I took that I did no filming for, and the missed weekends are really keeping me behind as well. Like, I was supposed to be banging out 2 videos per weekend, and that did not last for very long at all. And so here we are. Going into next year, like, I feel like it only makes sense to continue doing this, like, to give up on it because it's not as successful or as fruitful as I'd like for it to be doesn't feel right, because, like, a lot of these things take time. And what I will probably do is I'll probably be less hard on myself going into the new year, so that I can kind of let up on the intensity of it. But it's all just a matter of time figuring out what needs to be figured out. Like, that'll be my New Year's thing, is I will close out a bunch of the videos that just did not perform, or videos that I just don't like, and then I'll start anew. And I'll keep going until the world discovers my content and wants to be a part of it. And that seems like a solid way to be. Like I said, I'll be at least a little less crucial of trying to hit the 365 mark. Like, the 365, 24 365, that is the goal this year. And if I make it, that'll feel great. Right now, it's feeling like I probably won't make it until closer to, it'll probably be like November. I'll be lucky if I'm done with this by October. But I'm thinking it'll probably be November by the time I'm done with this. And so, and then at that point, I'll be thinking about what am I going to do going into next year. And maybe by that time, I will have learned a lot more about content creation, about making this kind of content and making what people want to see. I don't really know. There's no way to know for certain. Like, you don't ever really know. But at least to have a better concept of what's wanted, what's needed, what's going on, all that good stuff. And we'll just take it from there, really, because I feel like there is potential, and I guess I keep telling myself it takes time. I have not seen substantial growth on this channel since having started this, though I have seen like some level of growth. Like, people do pay attention to the content a little bit better than they used to. And like, certain videos are getting decent views, but my retention rates are just egregious. Like, I cannot get people to watch videos past like the first 30 seconds to save my life. And that's too bad, because like, I feel like I have content worth watching. And like, when people do that, when people immediately sign off on something, they click off on it, like, it kills my chances with the algorithm. Like, the algorithm's not gonna be like, yeah, let's recommend this video that people stop watching after the first 30 minutes. 30 seconds, I'm sorry. If people were watching 30 minutes of my videos, then they'd be watching the whole dang thing and I'd be fine. But that's not at all the case as to what is happening. And it's interesting as I look more and more into like professional film, let's see what I'm looking for, professional film production, the importance of color grading. And that has come up in the past, and I started doing like very rudimentary color grading for my videos, and that's part of the reason why I got behind, is because when I color grade, the videos go from taking like 20 minutes to upload to like 60, and so the lag time between each published video is a lot longer. And so, in fact, in order to catch up, I just cranked out a bunch of videos without any sort of coloring effects on them, just so I could catch up without taking an entire year to do so. And then during the week, I can upload videos with the more specific color grades. But I got on this kick of trying to figure out how to get things on streaming platforms, because I think when Compression Man gets to a good enough place, excuse me, I will see about having him posted on a streaming platform. But I didn't know how to go about doing that, or how to do any of those things. And so I was looking up videos on how to do it, and this guy, it's a very uninformative video, and he told a bunch of jokes, and none of which landed for me, and I just was not feeling his video at all. It was not overly informative, but he talked about the film that he made. And he was like, yeah, this is the film I made, this is how I got it on Netflix, and this was that was this, all those things. And what ultimately he was talking, and he was like, what really helped is I made a really good film, and without good content you can't do anything. And he was talking about how he got a professional grade color grading scheme for his film, and that was what helped propel it to like the next level. And I'm like, okay, there's something to be said about these color gradings that I just don't know and don't understand or whatever. And so I'm over here wondering now, like, what about color grading am I missing? And then, like, I was reaching out to a professional company here in town that produces professional grade video projects and stuff, because I've been thinking about potentially, like, at least quoting, like, what it would cost to hire them. But I don't know. I don't think I'll ever go anywhere with them. It would probably just be an inquiry, and then they would give me some price tag that's way more than I could ever hope to afford. And then I would just go crawl back into my corner of doing whatever I can afford to do. But on on their site, they give a step-by-step process of their production process. And the very final step is applying a professional-looking color grading to their film. I was like, there has got to be something to be said about color grading. Which, like, the more and more I film, the more and more, like, I feel like there is a definite difference between, like, movie film and, like, the kind of film I'm doing here, where it's more or less just, like, home video filming. And like it's a visual difference. Like, people can see something and be like, oh, okay, this is, like, professional film quality stuff. Or they'll watch what I make and they'll be like, oh, okay, this is, like, somebody with a camera doing something. And I think it's a combination of things. Still-cam, I think, plays a lot into it, in that, like, if you're just using your hands to film something, it really shows, versus if you're using, like, an actual tripod or stand or anything that keeps the camera still, because I think that is a big portion of professional camera work, is that the image is perfectly still. Like, they don't use shaky cam, except for, like, maybe on occasions for, like, artistic flair, or, like, handy cam projects like the Blair Witch Project or whatever. But for the most part, the images are very still, and I'm betting that there is a very definite, like, color grading that goes into these films as well. And I feel like those are probably two major pieces of what separates, like, a professional work from something that somebody just filmed on a camcorder. And for years and years and years, I thought maybe it was the camera themselves. And the cameras do, I think, matter to a degree, but it's more what you do with the camera or how you work the camera that gets you where you're going. I don't really know what the point of that was, person, but whatever. So, anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where I sit this time going into next year, and whether or not I feel it'll be fruitful to me to keep this going. Right now, I don't really see any difference in keeping it going or anything of that nature. I don't see any reason not to keep it going, is what I mean to say. But, who knows? Like, I'm not tired of it, which is a good thing. I'm not necessarily gaining anything from it, which is not a great thing. And so, really just trying to figure out, like, what is the next step for this? And will I just keep uploading videos of myself talking to the camera until I get tired of it? Will I eventually get tired of it and move on? Will I succeed somewhere else and move on? Like, success is the goal, and if I have my if I'm got multiple different avenues going, then surely I'll be noticed somewhere for something. But it would sure be nice for that to happen sooner rather than later. But there's really no way to know. And there's no way to tell. And you always feel like you're not doing enough. Like, oh, I'm not doing enough to promote my stuff. And, like, there's the general issue of the fact that I am working 40 hours a week. And people will be like, oh, you have all the time in the world. I'm like, no, I don't. I have at least 40 hours committed to an institution, which right now I can't give up, because then I wouldn't be able to afford to do these sorts of things. So anyway, I thank you for stopping by, as I tend to do. Hopefully today was not a complete waste for you. It feels pretty good to me, at least. I'll see you next time.